Oh, hey, Mom Nation. It's Katie with another Live and Learn. And today's guest is super interesting, and I'm really, really excited to have her on. So today we have Amy with the City of Mesa on. Amy, say hello. Tell them a little bit about you.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Amy McConnell, and I am all things bike and pedestrian and driving in Mesa. I'm the PIO over here for City of Mesa. So anytime you drive on our roads, I know a lot about them. If you have problems with anything or questions, if you respond or ask us a question on the city's Facebook page, it will be me answering more than likely. So always nice to put a face with a name. And yeah, we just kind of do all things pedestrian, bicycling, car riding. I'm also a mom. I've got a 5.5-month-old named Maverick, and I'm excited to be here today.
Awesome. I'm not sure if you guys can all hear that, but my landscaper just decided to show up and is right outside of my window. So hashtag mom life, right? Welcome, Amy. I am, like I said, super stoked to have you on today. Super stoked to learn about these couple of things that you want to tell us about, about the City of Mesa and how bikeable and walkable and family friendly it is. Personally, I know very well how family friendly it is. I own some property there. I used to live there. MOMnation is actually located in Mesa. So we have a really great relationship with Mesa, and I'm really glad to have you on. So talk to us. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So you may have heard of this thing this year called COVID. It's kind of impacted all of us.
It's here.
And it's here to stay. And one thing interesting, so City of Mesa, we have protected bike paths. So ones that are off the streets, completely safe for kids to ride on. We've got about 15 miles of those right now throughout Mesa. And they kind of like meander through neighborhoods, and they have lighting. They have even like rest stations with water fountains, things like that. We have counters on them. The use of them since COVID started has been through the roof. Like everyone, right? Because gyms were closed, we were all, inside, and those numbers are still up, and we're really excited about that. We're really happy that so many more of our residents are using those pathways. But with that, a lot of kids use them also, right? Because who wants to take your kid on a busy street in a bike lane? That sounds terrifying, no matter how great of a rider your kid is. So these are really great alternatives for that. But one thing we have seen with this influx of use in them is not an influx in helmet wearing from kids. So that's, yes, and that's like the easiest thing, right? Like, I know it sounds so basic, but kids still aren't wearing helmets. So we just, we want to remind everyone, even if you are going on these pathways where there's no cars, you won't see a car ever, right? It's still so important to protect those sweet little brains with a helmet.
It is so important to protect those little brains. I actually, just kind of little side note, have listened to some podcasts about brain health and how easily your brain can get damaged with little impact. You fall down the ski mountain a couple of times and you hit your head because you don't have a helmet on, and all of a sudden that is impact for like ever, and that affects your brain. So totally get it. Yes, we did a profile a couple years ago on this little girl. Her name's Emma. She lives in Gilbert, actually, and she was hit by a car while she was riding her bike in her neighborhood. And the Phoenix Children's Hospital staff told her that, and her parents, that if she had not been wearing a helmet, she would not be here today. And I mean, she was in her neighborhood. The car was not going fast. And she was severely injured, and thank goodness she was wearing a helmet, and thank goodness for PCH here in town, right? But we have a great story that really reminds parents of the importance of that, even on your driveway. That's so important. And not only, bikes, yes, but also scooters and all of those other fun wheelie toys that are really popular right now. Those all need helmets also. So it's not just bikes, it's all the other wheeled things.
Right. And I know our topic is kids, and you have some things to tell us about helmets in the city of Mesa, but I think it's important for adults too. You know, I now live in Ahwatukee, and I'm super close to the preserve. So I see a lot of the mountain bikers and the bicyclists up, up by my house. And only about half of them have helmets on that I've noticed. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is like your most prized possession right here. I mean, gotta protect it.
Yes, it's so important for all ages. And it's so important that the City of Mesa actually gives away free helmets to both kids and adults. So that's kind of like, I feel like one of those like best kept secrets for like freebies in Mesa.
Yes, adults too. See, I knew about kids, but I didn't know about adults. That's awesome.
Yes. So our bike and pedestrian program has partnered with the libraries. And we go in the libraries and teach a kids class. It's 30 minutes. It's geared for like ages 2 to like maybe 8. And at the end of the 30 minutes, and it's like interactive. It's fun. It's taught by a safety educator who, knows and loves kids. At the end of the 30 minutes, every single child who's in the class gets fitted for a helmet and gets to go home with a helmet. And it's fitted correctly, because that's another thing. Sometimes you go buy a helmet at Walmart and you're like, oh, this is great, but it's not fitted correctly. And if it's, all cattywampus either this way or this way, it's not really helpful. So that's one thing. And then we also go into Mesa Public Schools as well. And we take over PE one day. And we do an abbreviated class. We let all the kids drop eggs to, kind of symbolize, what could happen if you fall and the yolk comes out. And then we do it again with some padding. And we have a bike rodeo that we bring, and it's kind of like this, we call it Safety Town, and it's like this big vinyl mat where you can actually like ride bikes through it, and you go through cones and stuff like that. And then we work with that each individual principal at the school to help identify kids who are riding to school on a regular basis without a helmet. And then we hook them up with helmets as well. So last year, before COVID, right, we gave over 500 helmets out through Mesa Public Schools, and over 4,000 kids like participated in the PE education classes, which is huge. That was the first year we were actually in schools.
Wow, that is giant and amazing. And I'm sure as a mom makes you feel really good that these kids are out there, and they're protected. So that's amazing. Thank you, City of Mesa.
Yay. Yes. And the big question right now is, okay, well, the libraries are still closed and like we're distance learning. So now what? Well, our Bike and Ped program is right now, actually this week, recording a video version of that class, so that we can have an online version. And when the kids finish the 30-minute online version, you can come over to transportation and our safety educator will fit that helmet and you still get the helmet. So that's kind of in the works behind the scene right now. But that can be a good distance learning PE activity coming up.
That is amazing. Thank you for making those accommodations. It's, through COVID, I think we've all kind of learned the workarounds, like how to still get the things done that we need to get done. So thank you guys for being creative in that respect and for still offering that to our moms and kiddos. So let me get this straight. So they visit you on your Facebook page, which I have here in the show notes linked, and then they can get the link for that virtual learning half-hour thing. Am I right?
Yes. Yep. Once it's ready to go live, when, like I said, it'll probably where they're recording it, I think this week. So the next couple weeks that'll be live, and the city's Facebook page will definitely be pushing that out. So give us a follow over there and you won't miss it.
Oh, that is awesome. Can I circle you back to the 14 miles of off-road, without cars in the way kind of bike paths? And this may be a really long answer, so you can feel free to just give me a few checkpoints, but where is this all located? How can our mamas hook up with this path?
Yes, so there are several different paths all throughout Mesa. So there's probably one near everyone here in town. And a lot of cities are doing this. So even for those of you who may not be watching who live in Mesa, this is probably the same for your city as well, but they're kind of a hidden gem. So here in Mesa, we have 5 right now. So my favorite one is at Mesa Riverview Park. That's where it starts. Yes. Mesa Riverview has everything, right? I feel like just all paths lead there.
Everything.
Yes. So you can get on the path two ways. If you are on the Alma School side, Alma School, before you get to the 202, you'll see a turnoff. There's signage as well at Bass Pro Shop Drive that you can turn down, and you'll see the big City of Mesa sign that says like Rio Salado Pathway. That's one way. My favorite way, my personal recommendation, is drive to Mesa Riverview if you don't live right around there. Park the car. You can play on the playground, the splash pads, whatever. And then kind of tucked away towards the north end of the parking lot, there's a tunnel. And there's this gorgeous mural. I have a picture somewhere. We had a local, actually Mesa-born artist do this beautiful pool mural, like water mural, that then has all these like citrus features in it as well. And so you ride your bike down this tunnel with this beautiful public art, and then you come out and you're on like the Rio Salado Pathway. And if you make a right turn, you'll keep going into Mesa, right? You'll kind of go towards Alma School Road. Or if you make a left, it actually is a connection pathway, so you can get all the way to Tempe through that same, and then through the Tempe portion, you can get into Phoenix. So all of the cities here are collaborating to make this bike network. So eventually you can just get anywhere you need to throughout the city. So that's just one of the paths, right? So that's kind of like farther west Mesa end. Then we have our Mesa Gateway pathway that's way on the east side for like southeast Mesa. That's our newest one. And where is that? I have my cheat sheet here.
So it must be close for our Eastmark mamas, because we got a lot of moms that live in Eastmark.
Yes. So it's near Baseline and the 60. And
okay, so a little north.
Yeah. And it's great. My recommendation is to park at Guadalupe, and then you're kind of in the middle of the pathway, and you can go either way. So you can see just from those two pathways, we've got, you know, both sides of the city. And then we have a really great one here downtown in Mesa where I am. It's called the Porter Park Pathway. And that one is so cute. It's actual like curved, winded like pathways that cut diagonally through a neighborhood. And these aren't on the canals either. So I know like by my house, there's an SRP canal that folks run and bike on, but I always look at kids on there and I'm like, oh my gosh, don't fall in the canal. Like I get so much stress.
Same here. Same here.
Right? I'm like, oh my gosh, we need a net or something. So those are not maintained by the City of Mesa, even though they're in the City of Mesa, which gets a little, you know, confusing. So our pathways, the ones that we're talking about, are not on the canals either. They are fully paved. They've got the lights, they've got the resting areas, and they are not on the canals either. So this one, the Porter Pathway, it cuts through town and it gets you right to downtown Mesa, which is really nice. And then there's also, if you're kind of planning, you know, like an activity out of this, you can park at Mesa Drive and 8th Street, and there's a park right there. You guys can play at the park for a while, or like pack a picnic or something, and then go down the pathway. And it's kind of, you know, like making an event out of it. So I always think those kind of pairing experiences are pretty nice.
I love it. And let's talk about downtown Mesa real quick. It's really changed a lot in the last couple of years. I happen to be a huge fan. I own a historic home in one of those neighborhoods. Love it. So cute. Like reminds me of home. I'm from New England kind of thing. But let's talk about it. So there are several new restaurants that have come to downtown Mesa. So if you are out with the family, you know, in the next couple of weeks, it's going to start being nice enough to do that. And maybe, right? Feeling the same, sister. Maybe, you know, run out and grab lunch, do a little bit of biking, bike it off, work it off. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Because there are lots of yummy different restaurants, Worth Takeaway, one of my favorite sandwich shops down there. Yeah. There is a new, trying to think of the name of it, across the street from Worth.
The taco place.
Yes, that just came in. Have you been there?
No, not yet. It's on my list. Like I need to be there. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, everyone needs to go there.
I've heard it's wonderful.
Yes. And if you're going to downtown on a bike, Main Street is actually a no wheels zone just because of the light rail and all the pedestrians. And so when the light rail came in, they migrated all the bike traffic onto First Street and First Avenue. So that's your best bet when you're when you're biking to downtown. That's the best and safest way to get there.
That's a really good tip. Thank you for that. Honestly, with kids, I feel like downtown Mesa is super fun. They have a few new breweries. So like, you know, you go grab lunch, maybe you're going to go to the Idea Museum, or maybe you're going to go to the Natural Museum of History or Science or whatever it is. I think it's the science.
Yeah, the Dinosaur Museum.
The Dinosaur Museum. Yes. My son loves that place. So, you know, you go have lunch, take the kid to the museum for the afternoon, bike back. It's just, what a cool Saturday or Sunday to spend, you know?
Yeah, it's super lovely. I really do feel like these bike paths are one of those hidden gems that like no one really knows about, and a couple more people discovered them during, you know, the stay-at-home orders, but there's definitely more room on the pathways for more to join us.
Oh, so good to know. Maybe we have to round up, like when it gets cooler, a social distancing bike something with the City of Mesa, like for MOMnation.
Yes.
I think we'll have to talk about that, Amy. It'd be cool.
Yes. Well, actually, here's a fun fact for you. So, COVID this year, it was canceled, but we have the state's largest family-friendly bicycle party every April.
Cycle Mesa, right?
Like, yes. So this year, we were so excited. We were making a lot of changes to really focus more on the kids, because right now it's been paired with a cycling race for the past couple of years, which is great, and it's definitely family friendly, but we broke away. We had all these plans and then COVID happened. So next year, teaser for next April, it will be even more focused on kids, and we'll be doing even more helmet giveaways, and there'll be a bike rodeo and things like that. It is just all programmed for kids now.
Oh, awesome. So get your kiddos out there practicing so they can be all ready for the Cyclo Mesa 2021. It sounds awesome. Yes. So there were a couple of other things you wanted to chit chat about before we part ways today, my dear. And you bring it. You tell me, what are those things?
Yeah. So we actually have 2 more proposed pathways that we are looking to voters to consider supporting. Again, these pathways have just gotten so popular since COVID. We want to make sure that we are responding to that. We also last summer did this huge public outreach campaign just to see what people wanted from transportation. I mean, usually, you know, you're just driving from point A to point B and you're not really thinking about what you want in your infrastructure investment. So we worked really hard. We got over 6,000 residents to respond and weigh in for what they wanted us to do. And that was, you know, for all those East Merrick moms, you'll be happy to hear that the projects are proposing to, you know, make those connection points that, you know, the dead end roads out there and some of those things that just need a little more work because that part of the city grew just so quickly. So those are projects that are part of this bond package, as well as 2 new pathway projects. One over by Lehigh Crossing, which I know there's a lot of families who live over there. And then there's one more project as well. Again, spreading the love of these bike paths throughout the whole city. So eventually they'll all be connected regionally. So we're really excited for that. So for anyone in Mesa who's interested in learning more about what projects those are and what that looks like before you get your mail-in ballot, just visit mesaaz.gov/Mesa Moves, and that can give you all the project details and things like that.
That is awesome. And those are 2 heavy family populated areas. So that would be great to see come to Mesa.
Yes. Super excited for those. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Amy, it's been so nice to chat with you. I know we'll see you again soon, but is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
You know, I think before I worked for the city, and I've lived here almost my whole life, I had no idea all of the support that
the city gives residents. So I live off Val Vista, and for years, I'm talking years, I would drive home and there's this huge pothole. And every day I would like get so annoyed when I would like boom into it, right? Like, I'm just like, why can't someone fix this? I learned as soon as I started here in transportation, they will fix it. They just need to know about it. We have 134 square miles, and we do not have 134 people driving each mile every day. So my biggest tip, if there's anything from a pothole, or if you feel like people are speeding in your neighborhood, we have traffic engineers who are assigned to each area of the town to help you navigate what we can do to help slow people down in your neighborhood. Or, you know, we can send our crews out to go fix that pothole so you don't like roll your eyes because you don't know who to call. So I always like to, I think especially for, you know, younger, like first time homeowners, things like that, like there's just so much that all this, like what a city is here for to support you kind of gets lost when you're just trying to figure out what homeowners insurance is, which I still am not really clear on what that is 7 years after owning my own house. Still have no idea. Apparently I have it. I don't know. So I really want to encourage people to tell us when they have problems like that, because we'll fix it. Same thing with like a signal that's out. Like if there's a traffic signal that's out, we have guys on call 24/7, 365. Like that is super serious. But you'd be shocked at like no one calls it in. So we can't fix it if we don't know about it. So send us a message on our Facebook. We monitor that during normal city business hours. If it's an emergency, there's a non-emergency kind of like utilities line that you can call as well. Or you can always email transportation.info@mesaaz.gov. Or we also have an app. So I can give you that link. And so if you're biking and you see graffiti, report that on the app. We will fix it within 24 hours. Like, but we have to know about it. So yeah. So just let us know what we need to do, and we got guys waiting to do it.
I think that's a huge point, and I love that you brought it up because I knew that, but I'm 41 years old and have been around for, well, I just told you how long. So I knew that, but I didn't learn that right off. And I didn't learn that as soon as I moved here. And I didn't learn that when I was a Mesa resident. So that is awesome to know because 134 square miles, that's like ridiculous. What a huge city.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And like we have one hazard response guy whose job is to like go do that all the time, but it's one guy. So like we can call him up and tell him like, go to Val Vista and Southern right now, there's a pothole, but he needs to know. Yeah. Because the chances of him driving it are quite slim.
Pretty slim. Exactly. That is so good to know. I've driven through and seen graffiti on stop signs here and there, stuff like that. So all of that kind of stuff is what you guys take care of. And mamas, let them know, help them out, especially if you're driving the area quite a bit.
Yes. Even, so this is kind of funny, medians, you know how sometimes weeds grow up in medians on major roads and they're such an eyesore? Well, I was on Nextdoor, this is probably a year ago now, and my neighbors were complaining about the weeds growing out in the median, and they wanted to get like a little volunteer army to go like take down these weeds on a major street. And I was like, oh gosh, you guys know. So I like gently recommended, it's like, I think if you guys call the city, they can just do it for you. And so someone ended up calling us, and it was fixed within a day. So we kept people off of, the main streets doing their own city
Don't risk your lives doing that. Like,
right?
City of Mesa can shut traffic down.
Yes. And we get the safety vest, so we're good.
So you're good. Exactly. And helmets. We just learned you have helmets, so you're all set.
Yes. Yes.
Amy, awesome. Well, if you could do me a favor, since I know you're in the group and I'm excited about that, can you drop whatever links that you were talking about outside of the Facebook link that I already have in the show notes once we get done here?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like the where to go vote or where to go find out about what's going on the ballot and the other couple of things that you talked about, that'd be awesome.
Yes. Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to see you.
Great to chat with you too. Bye.
Bye.